I'm Lucas. I think most of you already know me. I'm the marketing manager at Inside Academy, also one of the coach and mentor as well now. So changing my roles and doing many things, but enjoying it very, very much. So we are today gathered here because we have a really, really, really exciting news to announce to all of you. So I'm very happy that all of you are here with us for this new program that we are launching today. So, well, you know that Inside Academy, we try to do everything different than the rest of the industry. We're trying to disrupt the education industry because that's life, right? World keeps changing and the education system is not changing as fast as the world. So we are trying to keep up with the world and bring new experiences with real value, with tools that really are helpful for people in the real world working life, right? So that's why at Inside Academy, we really focus on helping students to develop not only the concepts that you need in life and in work, but mostly the skills. That's why our programs are always very hands-on. We bring companies, real companies as case studies. We work in different challenges and projects that really make the students think out of the box and expand their again, not only their knowledge, but also their experience, which at the end of the day is the applied knowledge, right? Is where you really, where you really, really learn. Also, Inside is all about networking. It's all about community. It's all about collaboration. That's why we love collaborating with companies like Outcome Life. And we are aspiring to become leaders in education, in quality education. And how will we become these leaders? By bringing real outcomes, okay? So that's why I'm super excited to launch this new program. Not so long ago, we launched iSkill, remember, Certificate 4. I know that many of you are already promoting our program, so thank you very much for helping us to spread the word about our new programs. And yeah, thank you for being also part of the Inside community here in Australia. Well, in any part of the world. I don't know if people are joining us from different parts of the world, but probably because we work with agencies from all over the world. So thank you very much for helping us, supporting us, and being part of our community. We really appreciate it. So iSkill Certificate 4, and now we are launching iExperience. iExperience is it's a combination of our programs with an experience, a real world experience. When I say a real world experience, I'm talking about an internship, okay? So we partnered with Outcome Life. Now I'm going to allow Gerard to explain more about Outcome Life, but we partnered with Outcome Life, which is a company that specializes in internships for students. And we created a joint program where our students will be able to take their learning to the next level by adding an internship experience to their course, okay? So they will have first-hand experience in an industry that they will choose. Now Gerard will get into the specifics, but this will allow them to build a professional network, to upgrade their skills, and also to start becoming more familiar with the workplace culture here in Australia, which is one of the main goals of many students that arrive to Australia. So Gerard is the founder at Outcome Life. And welcome, Gerard. I'm allowing you now to the word. Please tell us a little bit more about you and about Outcome Life and how this experience works.
Thanks, Lucas. And thanks everyone for joining. And thanks to those that have turned their cameras on. It's much nicer talking to people when you can see their face as opposed to a blank screen. So Perla and Elise, thank you very much. It's nice to talk to people. So as Lucas mentioned, I am the founder of Outcome.Life. It's a business we started in 2015 to help international students get jobs. So I wasn't from the international education sector at all. I was actually a chartered accountant working in consulting and advisory, and I was an outsourced CFO for a college in Melbourne and Sydney that was 100% for international students. and it was my sort of look into the industry, and I was pretty dissatisfied with how we treated international students in Australia, and it's around the world, to be honest. But too much of education was about funneling students into a system, and no one really cared what happened at the other end. My view on why you would go and get a degree is because you would like to have a job in that field. Like if you look at master's degrees, even people going to University of Melbourne and spending 120 grand on a commerce degree, the reason they're doing that is because they want to get a job. Very few people want to go and do research and be academics. So if the purpose is getting a job, then what's being done to actually help people get a job? To me, the education is a stepping stone, but it's not the differentiator. So there's never been more people in the world that have master's degrees, let alone bachelor's and let alone diplomas. And so getting an advanced diploma or getting a bachelor does not separate you from anyone. You are exactly the same as everyone else. And so how do you give yourself a competitive edge? Well, I believe the only way is to actually get work experience. This is going to accelerate because of COVID-19. There was already a shift happening in education that Lucas mentioned before. People are questioning the value of a degree more than they ever have before, as everyone's been brought online. And I think a lot of students now, offshore and onshore, and their parents are going to start really thinking about where they're going to send their kids to go and get educated. And this is going all the way to the group of 8 and will filter all the way down through the vocational sector. And so what people are working out is that there is other alternative pathways. So instead of going and doing a Masters of Professional Accounting, you could maybe go and do some short courses, get the accounting skills you need, and then go and get work experience, and then use that work experience to get a job. I would actually argue now and going forward, that is a better way to get a job than going to Monash Uni and doing an MPA. So I think this creates opportunity within the vocational sector as well, because colleges like Insight Academy, who offer hands-on, real-world collaborative experiences, is actually setting people up for the workforce. So I'm sure most of you are aware that what businesses are now value is more soft and critical skills, or they call them complex capabilities. And PwC have gone on record saying they'll much prefer to hire an art student in their accounting division than they would someone with an accounting degree. And the reason for that is that they can train anyone to do accounting. I'm a chartered accountant. I trained my mum at the age of 63 to do her own books. I refused to let her get a bookkeeper. It's the soft and the critical skills and the personal skills that is more valuable, but that's harder to teach. And so that needs to be intertwined into education. I'm sort of getting to a long story into where I'm going with here, is that we started Outcome.Life to focus on the real value add, the most important part of education, which is actually getting the work experience. Yes, you need to do the fundamental theory underneath to give you the foundations, but getting the experience is what actually helps you get jobs. So the clients that we work with are the ones that actually want to work in their field. So if someone just wants migration and they want to keep working as a cleaner or as a barista or in a cafe, they're not the people that are going to come and work with us, and they're not the people who are going to sign up to iExperience. The perfect example I love is I'm going to use Colombia as an example, because I met lots of Colombians and many through Insight Academy. The amount of Colombians I've met that are qualified engineers that have more than 4 years experience from back in Colombia that are working as cleaners is 20 to 30 people at least. It just blows my mind that you've got all these experienced engineers when Australia has a shortage of 60,000 engineers right now, 60,000, yet there's all these qualified engineers working in hospitality or as cleaners. And the reason is, and this is what happens, they come to Australia, they enroll in a college, and they get in the cycle of learning and getting their part-time work to pay their rent, pay their fees, pay their bills. And 3 to 4 years later, they're still doing the same thing. Our job is to take them out of that. Not that there's anything wrong with being a cleaner, there's not. But our job is to give them some work experience as an engineer to get them working as an engineer. Because 2 years later, instead of earning 30 grand a year, they're earning 120 grand a year. And that's the people that we want to work with, that have that motivation, that have that determination and want to break out of the cycle. And it can happen. We have hundreds of examples of how this works. So basically what we do internship placements, and we do them for international students. So it is the best way to break into your professional career. And we work with colleges like Insight Academy, where they are prepared to put in the effort to deal with the ASCOR requirements and all the legislative requirements and getting the coursework all worked out, that students are able to do an internship. It is also becoming much more popular too. We're hearing from offshore that students are demanding, where can I go to do an internship? Inside Academy are currently leading by actually providing this as a service. Others are probably going to copy, to be honest, but the opportunity we've got with Insight is to be the leaders and to be the best. And so I don't want to talk for too long, so I prefer to get questions, because I know there will be questions, but basically the ideal internship is for 12 weeks at 3 days a week. And we don't care what their aspirations are. One of the advantages of working with Insight Academy, because they're an entrepreneurial type school, it doesn't matter what people's background is. So you could have a mechanical engineer that's going to Insight to learn entrepreneurial skills or a certificate in business, but they actually want to work as an engineer. We will place them in an internship where they will get experience as an engineer. You might have someone who wants to be a digital marketer. You might have someone who wants to get into data analytics. All these jobs of today, we will put them in internships that is aligned to not what they've done in the past, but what their career aspirations are. Right? So we meet lots of people who've done accounting, but they actually want to work in digital marketing. So let's get them a role in digital marketing. There might be some upskilling we need to give them, some training, but we will get them in a role where they will actually learn real world stuff. And this is important too, real companies with real work. This is not simulated internships. It's not, templated internships, real businesses doing real work. The ultimate goal is they get hired at the end of the internship. We cannot guarantee that. And I do get asked it a lot by students. Can you guarantee I'll get a job at the end? No, like, I don't know what you're going to be like. You might turn up late 4 days out of 5. You might be terrible communicator. You might have a really poor attitude. Like, I can't control that. What we guarantee, everyone coming through the iExperience program is guaranteed to be put into an internship. We've done 6,500 internship placements and we've never not placed someone. So that is our guarantee. We'll guarantee them a good internship. It is then up to that student to convert that into a job. Now, we have lots of examples where the host company offers them a job even before the end of their internship. And we had an example last week of someone that a host company couldn't offer the person a job. So they called up their best mate at another company and their best mate hired them. So that's the type of opportunities that this creates. Lucas mentioned before that a big component for Insight is about collaboration, networking. The best place to build a professional network is in a business environment, is in an internship. You meet staff members, you meet clients, you meet suppliers, you meet the family members of staff members, you meet the friends of staff members. I love it that Insight is very network driven and collaborative, but we don't want people just having their network at the school. None of those people at school is going to get them a job. Right? Everyone's competing for the same jobs in a way. So we've got to get students, particularly international students, outside of their comfort zone, outside of all the people that hang out with school, and into the business world. And that's where they want to be. That's where we want them spending all their time. Doing an internship is the best way to do that. You are forced to deal with people in the business community in Australia. I'm going to leave it there because I can go on for ages, and I want to make sure I address the questions that you guys might actually have. And I don't want to let this go too long, but hopefully that gives a summary of why we're doing it. You can probably see I'm quite passionate about it because it works. I see it frustrates me all the time when I see people that I see 5 years after they've been in Melbourne or Sydney, wherever they are, complaining that they're still working in a hospitality job when they should be an engineer. And I say, what have you done about it? And they say, nothing. I say, it's your own fault, because we have a program that makes this really easy to get you experience as an engineer here in Australia. So I will say again, the clients we want to work with are the ones that are motivated and they actually want to have a professional career.
That's great. That's why Insight Academy is a great alliance, Gerard. Thank you very much for presenting the program. What I love the most about the program is that it's not that people will end up taking coffee orders or making photocopies. They are going to have real work experience, which I think is the key here. And I think the program has, you say that you cannot guarantee a job, but last time we spoke, you said that the program had a very high employability rate after finishing, right?
Yeah, so our work readiness program, which is the program putting together Insight, is 65% are working in their field after doing an internship. So
super high. So you cannot guarantee a job, but almost.
the number one thing that we've found for getting a job is attitude. We find that the students that go into an internship that have an amazingly positive attitude, 9 times out of 10, they convert it to a job. Usually the people that don't are the ones that maybe a bit lazy, maybe they haven't got their work-life balance sorted out, and so they're unreliable. If you've got a really good attitude and you're determined and you want to learn, then 9 times out of 10, they end up getting a job.
Totally.
If you think about it, they're already in the business. So if by week 10, you're doing valuable work, why would anyone want to let you go? And that's what happens. Like, you're already embedded in the business. It's actually easier for them to offer you a job than to say, don't come back. But they've got to make themselves valuable to the business.
Yeah. The company invested so much time and effort in that person. It makes sense to keep them. Exactly. And it's key what you say about mindset. That's why our programs at Inside Academy, it's all about mindset, skills, and also understanding the theoretical aspect, but the most important things for us is skills and mindset. So our students are usually prepared to step up their game and go to this next level. Great. So we are going to open it up to questions. Or Javi, I don't know if you want to add something from your side. Javi is going to be the representative of Inside Academy for this program. So all of you know Javi. Welcome, Javi.
Good morning, everyone, legends. Thank you for sharing the first half an hour of the day with us. Always the most important of the day. So just getting new knowledge and new motivation for facing a new great day. Thank you, Gerard, for being with us today. I'm really excited because, as we were talking until now, so basically Inside is every day fighting for breaking the rules. And, we were missing a great component in this journey for all international students. As you were mentioned, basically the international students, I will say the 90-95% of the students are living with a constant frustration in terms of opportunities for the main goal, which is the integration in the labor market international atmosphere. So basically, we can be offering a beautiful education journey with a lot of experience, but was a little step, what means a lot, in order to create that full integration for the international students. So of course, I'm in contact with the agencies and the students. So I would love to clarify just to understand better the whole package of the product. So what is the program, in which entry-level requirements need the students? Do they need any special entry levels, like a English level or qualifications or previous experience?
So English is obviously important because you're going into a business environment. So if you can't speak English, then it's going to be problematic. We have never had a student with Inside Academy that English was not okay. And I don't really care about the bands, the 5s and 5.5 and 6 and stuff, because to be honest, I think it's a bit of a sham, the whole English testing thing. Basically what we do determine, and we meet with every student, is could we sit them in a room with one of our clients and can they have a conversation? That's the most important thing, right? So communication is important that way. And then in terms of other academic requirements, no, not really. Particularly of the people I've met through Inside. I've spent a lot of time on Inside Academy's campus. They're all bubbly people that are motivated. That's the most important sort of stuff. Like someone's getting into digital marketing, but they haven't done digital marketing before. We'll recommend them a couple of short courses to learn, some certain skills on digital marketing before placing them out into an internship. But self-learning becomes the most important pathway to an internship as far as I'm concerned, because whatever field you're getting into, if you can learn the software of that field, you're already halfway there. So there aren't really any requirements other than that.
Perfect. So tell us a little bit about how is the process work like? I mean, I have checked the list of the industries and also the companies. What is amazing is I think all the industries in the world are included in the option that the student can select for the applications. What is really solid, no restrictions in terms of what you want to develop your professional career, but how is the process? So the students are filling a form, they are selecting the industry they want to work within, and then you are gonna provide a few options in terms of companies, or depends on the student profile, you are gonna provide a specific name of the companies. How is working the process?
Sure, yeah, and it's far more high touch than that. The way it works is that as these students enroll in iExperience, then Inside Academy will let us know, let my team know. We will then organise a consultation with every single student, and we will, well, pre-COVID, we used to meet face-to-face, but that doesn't happen anymore. So we'll do a video conference with every student, and we'll just have a conversation about what do you want to do with your life? You know, where do you want to take your career? And so that's a first really important step in the process. And then from that, we'll review their CV. We will review their LinkedIn profile. If they don't have LinkedIn, we'll explain to them why LinkedIn's important. And 99 times out of 100, they then go and create a LinkedIn profile that night. And then we'll start shortlisting them for host companies. We'll then send the host companies onto the students saying, hey, here's a particular company. They're looking for someone with a social media internship. Are you interested? They say yes. We'll send their CV off to the company. The company will say, I'd love to meet them. And then we'll organize an interview for that student and the company. We don't make any student go to any company. So sometimes a student might have an interview and say, oh, look, it's probably not quite right for me. I prefer to get more into email marketing. This is more Facebook marketing, whatever it might be. And so they might go for 2 to 3 interviews, and the student will choose the company they want to intern at, and the company will also choose the student. So, you know, the company might be interviewing 4 students. They're only going to take 1. So for an internship. So it's like an employment process that the students go through. It's very high touch, but we make sure it is crucial that the company chooses the student and the student chooses the company, because you want to make sure that both parties really want them there to get the most out of the experience. So it's very end-to-end, high touch. If they fail an interview, they decide to take a different intern instead, we'll do a debrief session with them saying, well, this is why they took someone else. It's why they didn't take you. And maybe they didn't do a good interview. And this is all part of the process too. So then we might provide them with some interview training. You know, how can they do better next time to put their best foot forward? So the thing with internships, it's like someone's taking on an employee. Businesses take it very, very seriously what interns they take on, because they are going to be having to train them for the next 12 weeks. So that takes up a lot of time for a business. So they are very particular about the interns they take on. And so it is a full process, like applying for a job.
So if I understand properly the process, then the duration of the process will depend about how many companies are we having the interview with, and you know how many options we want to analyze, rather than the specific frame duration of time for the whole process. That's
yeah,
right.
we broke a record.
What is the average of the process,
yeah,
the duration
sure.
of the process?
So we broke a record on Tuesday. One of our staff, Josh, met someone at like 10 o'clock on Tuesday and had them placed in an internship before 12:30 that day.
Wow, that's
beating
our record. Definitely.
That's an extreme case. We couldn't. That's a record will never be broken. It's just everything is aligned. But we like to plan for 8 weeks. So the moment
8 weeks. Okay.
yeah. So the moment someone enrolls in iExperience, we'll get given those details and we'll start the process straight away. They may not want to start their internship for another 12 weeks or 16 weeks, or they may need to start in 7 or 8 weeks, whatever it is. But we try to start as early as possible to start getting them going through that process. But at the end of the day, the student will decide their start date of the internship, as long as it aligns with Insight Academy. So Insight Academy obviously has their structure. I think block 2 is when Insight wants the students to start, but we have flexibility on the start date. So we'll work with the students and Insight. So the 3 of us will work together to decide the start date for the student's internship.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you. It's perfect to know, like, the structure about the process and duration, because you are right. Like, as I will inform in detail, in order to avoid to interrupt or to damage the academic progress, we will allocate a specific minimum starting day of the process for the students, in order that I say in order to avoid to interrupt or to damage, the academic progress. And before to leave, time for question for all the beautiful people we have here today, Gerard, tell me about a little bit about money. So it's like always, the big topics. And like I will ask you if it's possible for the both sides. I mean, like the 1 million questions: are the students get paid in any of the internships, and also about the cost from the service for the students?
Yeah, sure. So the cost of our program is usually $2,000, and price through Insight Academy is far cheaper than that. Jose and Lucas and Javier negotiated very well, I must say, for Insight Academy students, and they can talk through how that packaged up pricing works. The internships are unpaid internships. In Australia, minimum wage is very high in Australia. businesses just will not take on paid interns. And there is no such thing as a paid internship. A paid internship is a job, right? That is the difference. What students need to understand, they are not working for free. They are getting trained for free in a business environment. It is a really important mindset when you're talking to students that they need to understand. I will guarantee that the intern will get more out of the internship than the company. Guarantee it. Because they are going to be in a professional business environment with people with loads of experience training them every single day. It's like doing another subject at uni, except instead of going to the lecture hall, they get to go to a business. And I think that's really important probably for you to all understand when you're talking to students saying, oh, it's an unpaid internship. No. You are going to get trained for free, and the best training you're ever going to get, and it's in the real world, and then leverage that to get a job. Right? So to me, getting a degree gives you a certificate. Doing an internship gets you a job. And that's why I say the people we want to work with, the people that have that motivation. So I get it. It's going to be hard. They're going to have to work their casual job, and they're going to have to do an internship, and they might have to go to class. So going out and partying on Saturday night during this 12 weeks is just not going to happen. So if you want to be a partier and you want to have that life, by all means, go do it, but don't do our internship program. If you want to set yourself up for a better life and you're prepared to put in the hard work and you're prepared to sacrifice, it will work out for you. But life is hard. We all know that. Look at what's going on right now with the global pandemic. Life's a bitch and life is hard. It's not meant to be easy. So in my experience, the people that are prepared to put the hard work in, the people prepared to do the extra stuff, their careers take off. We see it all the time. The people that aren't being prepared, funnily enough, are the ones that complain and they say life's shit, it's too hard. People wanted to put the work in. I guarantee it works out.
Yeah, that's right. Like basically, I believe that we are opening a beautiful opportunity for those students, need a extra help in order to integrate themselves in the labor market. But of course, also depends for each individual. That is quite important. So I would love to allow, because the number of people have been increased. Thank you very much for coming, for stay here, everyone. So do you have any question? Do you want to share with Gerard or to ask to Gerard?
Yeah, everybody's muted. So if you have questions, you will have to unmute yourself. or you can also write them down on the chat and we'll be reading them.
It's all good. Thanks a lot, guys. That was wonderful.
I must have done such a good job of describing this thing that people don't even have questions. I'm going to take the rest of today off.
We have here one question from Johan. How much is the program for current students?
I
will go ahead and work because Gerard was saying, so the company Outcome Life is just have a fee for all the normal user or the normal applicants, what is $2,000. So already for the students are currently a student at Inside or they want to be enrolled at Inside doing the package, the cost is going to be $1,100. So like a half price for the students are applying with through Inside, and also they can enjoy for a flexible payment plan, like paying $200 a month for 5 months. So like they can pay in easily installments, or like there is no struggling in terms of the initial deposit or to pay everything at once. So, but the answer, Johan, like a 1,100, and the student can pay in installment, $200.
Is it possible to have the second tentative if the employer or the student is not happy with the host company?
Yes, so that part of our service too that I should have mentioned is that we monitor students during their internship. So we check in with regular phone calls to the company and to the student. Sometimes things don't go to plan. It's probably only 1% of cases, but we've had cases before, Fabio, where a student, we call them up at week 3 and they say, look, I'm not really enjoying this internship. It's not what I thought it was going to be. We had a case actually of someone that was supposed to be doing an accounting internship and they were doing work that wasn't accounting. And so we called up the host company and find out what was going on. And we ended up pulling that student out of that internship and putting him in another internship. So it's not very common, but it does happen. But if someone's really not happy, say it was a drastic case, so we're getting bullied. We haven't had, this has never happened yet, but say their manager was bullying them. We would pull them out of that internship and we would put them in a different internship.
And in this case, they will restart the 10 weeks?
It depends. We ask the students. So if they would like to reset their internship and do another 12 weeks, or they would like, say they've already done 3 weeks and they just want to do another 9, we can do both. But we'll work, in those cases, we work very closely with the students just to make sure we're looking after them and their interests.
Thank you.
Hi,
Anyone
Gerard. Good
else?
morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Elise. Good morning.
Quick question. I was just looking over your website actually, and I noticed where on the drop down it basically just says IT internships and also engineering internships. Are they kind of the sectors that you do concentrate on? Is there a wider, broader sector that you fall into as well with all different host companies, or is it primarily just those two?
Yeah, good question. And I'm going to get on to Steph, our COO, about building out the rest of those landing pages. So thanks for flagging that with me. No, we do every field, except we don't do teaching and nursing. So they're the two we leave alone. But other than that, and we don't do aeronautical engineering. So Australia does not have an aeronautical industry. So we have had a couple of one student, I think, asked for that. I mean, that's just impossible. So other than that, we do everything. The most common ones are business, IT, and engineering. That's what most people do, really, in the professional world. But we're now getting a lot of requests for data. So people want to get into data, whether it's data science, data analytics, business analyst type roles. A lot of requests. Then we've done some obscure stuff like food science, health administration. So there's pretty much everything that we've done, architecture. So we've covered everything. If we meet a student and sometimes you get students that are very, very particular and very niche, we will often work with them to open up their scope a bit, because you're not going to get your dream job as an intern, right? So to the point you get some students saying, I want to be the CEO. And you're like, okay, mate, cool. So part of it is us working with students about setting them on their career path for where they want to get to. But we've covered every industry under the sun, I think, so far.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Elise. More questions? Anyone else? Okay, it seems that everything was in this stage is like everything is quite clear. So I got full information in terms of like the list of the industries and different roles. I will provide to all of you with detailed process as well as the cost and how to do the application for your applicants. So but if you have any questions now, taking the opportunity that Gerard is with us is a perfect time. All good? Wow, good students.
Oh, sorry, I do actually have one. Is there an age limit or an ideal candidate age?
So over 18, and then in terms of a ceiling on the age, no, but I wouldn't mind placing someone who's 64 into an internship. That'd be fun, I think. But yeah, we just don't do under the age of 18 with working with children checks and stuff like that. They have to be above the age of 18.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Elise, again. Okay, I don't know if any of you have another question before closing the meeting today. So I guess that everyone needs to get back on track and facing the day.
Oh, and just Javier, I might just say to everyone that if you need help in explaining, sometimes it can be difficult in explaining the value to students. I'm sure everyone here probably gets it. We're all working in the business community. It's obvious to us, but sometimes students need a bit of convincing. We have created quite a lot of videos of success stories.
Okay.
People Beautiful. That there's one guy, Durga, that was working in hospitality for 8 years that had a degree in IT. And after 8 years, he said, enough's enough, I'm not doing this anymore. So he did an internship and now he works as a software developer with a startup, scale-up business called Mentor Loop in Melbourne. and the internship changed his life. So we've got a number of those videos that we can share with, if people want to reach out to, I can share all the videos with you. And sometimes those stories often help students understand the value, which may help with your discussions with them.
Okay, that could be really helpful. Yeah, I will get them. Thank you very much. So, okay, guys, I think that it was a really valuable information. Once again, as I start, so I believe that this is a service or product that is perfectly matching with, you know, when we try to identify what international students need the most for full integration in the labor market, you know, like integrating them into the international labor market. So I think it's a great opportunity with a minimum investment, you know, like on the top of the course. We organize properly the structure in order to make match with academic program. But I think it's a great opportunity for those who are coming to Australia to do something different with the personal and professional development. So we keep in touch. So you can call me anytime. You have perfectly my contact details. You know where I live and how to contact me. So just feel free to contact me anytime for any additional information. However, I will contact to all of you with full details and full package of material.
Great. Thank you very much, Javi. Thank you very much, Gerard. And thank you very much, all of you, for joining us today for the launch of iExperience. We will be sending you marketing material, information, packages, prices, everything in the next couple of days. And again, if you want to know more about the program, you can also check out the website of Outcome Live. And if you want to know more about anything related to Inside Academy, well, you can contact any of us and we will be very happy to help you all. So thank you very much. Have a great day. Thank you for joining us today. See ya.